death in police custody of a 22-year-old woman arrested over a headscarf. Mahsa Amini died on September the 13th. Iran's morality police arresting her for wearing, apparently, a headscarf too loosely, contravening strict rules imposed on women in Iran by the male leaders. Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi spoke on state television this evening. Earlier, I spoke with Javed Rehman, the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Iran.
The unfortunate death of the 22-year-old Mahsa Amini is a clear example of Iranian state brutality and state repression. This young person was killed by the state, and in my capacity as a UN Special Rapporteur on the human rights situation in the Islamic Republic of Iran, I have called for a transparent inquiry and the findings to be made public, and I have called for accountability for perpetrators for this very serious criminal offense. And I'm calling upon the international community to condemn violence against women, violence which is perpetuated, enforce this compulsory hijab by the morality police, and there must be accountability for all those individuals who have been involved in this incident and on previous occasions. Thank you.
The targeting of women, as you pointed out, by this kind of law, by the existence of the morality police, is clearly, I think, flagrant. The death of Mahsa Amini triggered this whole situation that we're seeing now unfold across Iran. Do you know any more about the circumstances of her tragic death?
It is quite clear from the evidence that we have that there was state brutality and state repression. And unless we have evidence otherwise, all the evidence points to a deliberate action on the part of state authorities, the morality police, and they have used unacceptable violence against this woman. And as we hear from this 22-year-old's, this girl's father, her evidence is very clearly before us. So all the evidence that we have points to the deliberate state repression and killing of this young woman, and that's why we're calling for accountability. And if I can just emphasize that this law, this hijab law, violates women's fundamental human rights and their human dignity. And I'm calling upon the international community to emphasize and to ask the Iranian government to immediately repeal this law of compulsory hijab, which carries fine, imprisonment, and in some cases national security and morality offenses. And it terrifies and harasses and intimidates women in Iran.
Javed Rehman, what you've just listed there are some extremely serious things that a woman could be accused of for basically, as Mahsa Amini apparently did, for wearing a headscarf loosely. What does this say about Iran?
It reflects the repressive, authoritarian nature of a state, which is unwilling to even allow fundamental human rights to its citizens. We have to remember that this hijab law is compulsory. It is enforced upon women regardless of their religion or belief or their tradition. And women have for decades been pleading that they must not be subjected to this humiliation. And yet, as I just said, that the continuation of the law violates their dignity. So I am, it is a very sad reflection on an authoritarian and repressive regime which we currently see in Iran.